Welcome back to our channel, where we delve deep into the mystifying realm of spirituality. Today, we're exploring a topic that intrigues many but is understood by few: spiritual gifts. Whether you believe in them or not, spiritual gifts are a subject that has fascinated humanity for ages. Have you ever wondered why some people just seem to radiate a different kind of energy? I know I have. Well, chances are they might be one of the rare individuals blessed with a spiritual gift. So, let's get into it, shall we? 1. Hypersensitivity to surroundings. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt like something was off? If you're spiritually gifted, you're not just picking up vibes, you're tuned into the room's whole energy frequency. It's like you've got this built-in radar that senses what's going on, emotionally and energetically. You might be wondering, why do I feel everything so intensely? Well, one idea is that spiritually gifted folks are vibing on a higher frequency. Think of it like having super strong Wi-Fi that picks up signals others can't. Imagine you step into an elevator full of people. Most people might just feel cramped, but you're picking up the tension from the guy who's stressed about a job interview and the joy from the lady who just got engaged. It's like you have an emotional X-ray vision. Now, if this gets overwhelming, you can try grounding techniques. Deep breathing, carrying a grounding stone, or even stepping outside for some fresh air can reset your spiritual antennas. If you're skeptical and thinking, isn't this just good intuition? Well, yes and no. What sets you apart is the range and depth of what you're picking up. It's not just a hunch, it's like reading an emotional map of your surroundings. 2. Unusual dream patterns. If you're like most people, your dreams are a jumble of daily events. Maybe a replay of that awkward conversation you had at work. But if you've got that spiritual spark, your dreamscape turns into something like an IMAX theater featuring exclusive previews of coming attractions in your life. The term vivid is almost an understatement here. We're talking 4K. High-definition, emotionally charged dreams that could make even a Hollywood director jealous. These aren't just dreams, they're experiences, laden with symbols, messages, and sometimes even foresight. Think about dreams that seem to predict future events. Maybe you dreamt of a long-lost friend and then bumped into them the next day. This isn't coincidence. It's your spiritual side giving you a heads up, almost like a trailer for an upcoming movie in your life. If you find yourself waking up from these dreams, jot down every symbol, color, and emotion you can remember. Over time, you might start to see patterns and messages meant to guide or warn you. This is your spiritual self's way of saying, hey, I'm trying to tell you something important here. Tune in. 3. Strong intuition. Imagine having an internal GPS that not only guides you through traffic, but also through life's most intricate decisions. That's what it's like to have heightened intuition. This isn't just your run-of-the-mill gut feeling. This is a constant and powerful sense that something is either off or perfectly aligned. This intuition can act like your own personal alarm system. It gives you early warnings about people, situations, or choices that might not be in your best interest. Ever get that tingling sensation down your spine when someone walks into a room? That's not just random. That's your intuition telling you to stay alert. It's like your spirit is saying, hey, you might want to pay close attention to this. Sure, we all get hunches, but for spiritually gifted individuals, these intuitive feelings are typically validated by future events. It's like having a preview button for various outcomes in life. Don't just brush it off. Your intuition is more than a hunch. It's your spiritual self connecting with the energies around you, guiding you toward or away from certain situations. If you find your inner voice is more like an inner shout, and it's often right on the money, then you should start listening. It's your spiritual gift working for you. 4. Quick emotional recovery. Ever met someone who seems to handle life's challenges like they're sipping on a tropical smoothie? For the spiritually gifted, emotional resilience isn't just a trait, it's practically a superpower. When life throws its worst, they manage to find a serene space within themselves. It's like they have an emotional shock absorber built right into their psyche. One secret to their emotional resilience is an evolved sense of perspective. While others might get lost in the storm of negative emotions, spiritually gifted people have an internal compass that guides them to a place of understanding and acceptance quicker than most. It's like they've got a shortcut to emotional wisdom that many spend years trying to find. But make no mistake, this isn't just about mental fortitude. Spiritually gifted people often attribute their rapid emotional recovery to a deeper spiritual understanding of life's ups and downs. They see challenges as opportunities for growth or as lessons that need to be learned. By framing hardships in this way, they're able to move through emotional landscapes more swiftly, embracing the next moment with open arms. If you're someone who finds yourself standing up, dusting off, and ready to go again almost as soon as you've been knocked down, then this trait might resonate deeply with you. 5. Energy healing. Hold onto your hats, because this one might sound like it's straight out of a fantasy novel. Spiritually gifted individuals often have the incredible ability to heal others through the power of energy. We're not talking hocus pocus here. This is about a deep-rooted understanding of the energy that connects all of us. Think about it. Everything in the universe is made up of energy at its core. Science backs this up. From the tiniest particles to vast galaxies, it's all vibrating energy. Spiritually gifted people seem to have an innate grasp of this concept, and they can channel this understanding into something transformative. They can literally tune into the frequencies of another person's being and help adjust it for healing, be it emotional or physical. What's fascinating is that this isn't always about laying hands on someone like a traditional healer might. Sometimes it's merely their presence that seems to emanate a healing vibe. Ever been around someone and suddenly felt lighter, happier, or even physically better? Then you might have been in the presence of someone with this unique spiritual gift. If you find yourself mysteriously uplifted or even healed after interacting with certain individuals, or if you are that individual for others, this might be a sign that you're dealing with some seriously powerful spiritual gifts. 6. Attracting animals. Ever find yourself inexplicably surrounded by animals wherever you go? Maybe birds land near you, or stray cats just seem to follow you around. If this sounds like your daily life, then you could be radiating an energy that animals can't resist. Animals are incredibly intuitive. They don't rely solely on the traditional 5 senses like humans do. They have a keen ability to pick up on energies and vibes, often noticing things long before we do. The spiritually gifted have a certain energy signature that animals not only detect, but are also drawn to. It's as if animals see these individuals as safe havens, recognizing the purity or positivity of their energy. We're not just talking about pets here. Even wild animals might be more comfortable approaching someone with spiritual gifts. It's as if animals sense a kindred spirit, someone who understands the unspoken language of energy, empathy, and compassion. So, if you're the type of person who finds themselves saving spiders or talking to birds, and they seem to listen, you might just be tapping into a more profound, universal connection. 7. Affinity for solitude. Now, let's get one thing straight. Loving solitude doesn't mean you're antisocial or a recluse. On the contrary, for spiritually gifted people, solitude serves as a sanctuary for the soul. It's a space where they can distance themselves from the constant bombardment of external energies and focus on recalibrating their own. Imagine your spiritual energy as a battery that gets depleted when it's constantly connected to the Wi-Fi of life's challenges, emotions, and interactions. Just like you'd plug in your phone to charge, solitude acts as that charger for your spiritual battery. It's a time to unplug from external demands and tune into the inner wisdom and insights that often get drowned out by daily life. Solitude is also the breeding ground for creativity and sharpened intuition. When you're alone, there's a clarity that enables you to understand your dreams, decode your intuitions, and even come up with groundbreaking ideas. So, the next time you find yourself seeking solitude, know that you're not running away from the world. You're diving deep into it from an internal perspective. 8. Deep understanding of people. You know how some folks claim they're good judges of character? Well, spiritually gifted people take this to another level. They're like human emotional radar systems. When they interact with others, it's not just about what's being said. They can pick up on emotional frequencies that are inaudible to the rest of us, gaining insights into a person's underlying motives, feelings, or even traumas. This isn't some Sherlock Holmes parlor trick. It's a deep, empathic connection. They don't just see that you're anxious, sad, or excited, they often understand why. This ability allows them to navigate social situations with an unusual degree of grace and can also make them incredibly effective in roles that require deep interpersonal understanding, like counseling or leadership. It's a powerful gift, but also a heavy one. Knowing so much about someone in an instant can be emotionally taxing. It's like having constant access to a stream of deeply personal information. Balancing this gift with the need for emotional boundaries is often a lifelong challenge for these gifted individuals. 9. Visionary abilities. You've heard the saying, seeing is believing, right? Well, for spiritually gifted folks, seeing happens long before the events do. It's as if they've got a built-in GPS that projects not just the next turn, but the entire roadmap of possibilities. These aren't vague, dreamlike glimpses. They're vivid and detailed scenarios that often play out with astonishing accuracy. Imagine sitting down to make a life plan, and instead of guessing or hoping, you already have a profound sense of what could be. It's not about fortune-telling. It's about having an advanced form of intuition that can identify upcoming challenges and opportunities. This uncanny ability allows them to prepare, make better choices, and even guide others with their insights. But let's be clear, this isn't always easy. Having a heads up on future challenges can be as much a burden as a blessing. Knowing that a hardship is coming doesn't make it any less difficult to experience. But this advanced foresight can arm them with the tools they need to face these trials head-on. 10. Telepathic tendencies. Okay, before you start thinking about sci-fi movies and comic book heroes, let's ground this a bit. When we talk about telepathy in spiritually gifted people, we're not necessarily saying they can read your thoughts word for word. What we mean is that they have an intuitive knack for understanding what someone is likely to say or do before it happens. It's like they're tuned into the same frequency, picking up signals most of us don't even know are there. Now, you might wonder, how does this manifest in everyday life? Imagine being in a conversation where the words are just the tip of the iceberg. Below the surface, there's an entire layer of unspoken understanding. They might complete your sentences, offer a solution before you even articulate the problem, or sense that you're not okay when you haven't said a word. It's a kind of communication that goes far beyond words, diving deep into the realm of thoughts and emotions. Just because they can sense what's going on in your head doesn't mean they'll always act on it. Ethical considerations come into play. It's one thing to understand someone deeply. It's another to use that understanding responsibly. Spiritually gifted people often find themselves grappling with when to intervene and when to hold back, respecting the autonomy of others even when they feel they know what's best. 11. Aura perception. All right, so this one might sound a little out there, but stick with me. We're talking about the ability to perceive auras, the colorful energy fields that surround people. No, they're not using special goggles or anything like that. For them, it's like an additional layer of perception, a kaleidoscope of colors that provides extra information about the emotional and spiritual state of those around them. Different colors have different meanings, and it's not a one-size-fits-all interpretation. A blue aura might signify tranquility or depth of feeling, while a red aura could indicate passion or possibly anger. And it's not just static. These auras change in real time as a person's emotional or spiritual state shifts. So if you see someone with a spiritual gift suddenly looking at you differently, they might be reading the change in your aura. Before you get envious, know that seeing auras isn't just a visually stimulating experience, it's often another tool in the empathic toolkit, allowing spiritually gifted people to gauge the emotional temperature of a room or understand the feelings of an individual more deeply. This can help them in offering more precise emotional support or choosing how to approach different social situations. 12. Psychic abilities. Okay, don't hit the pause button just yet. This is where things might get a little Twilight Zone, but in a fascinating way. We've already talked about intuition, but now we're stepping it up a notch to psychic abilities. Clairvoyance, precognition, you name it. And before you dismiss this as hocus pocus, keep in mind that these phenomena have been studied and documented across different cultures and historical periods. I know, science and spirituality don't always see eye to eye, but there's a growing body of research diving into the study of psychic phenomena. While hard evidence may be elusive, the experiences reported are too frequent to be easily dismissed. So, if someone you know is spiritually gifted and claims to have glimpses of future events or insights beyond the five senses, maybe don't be too quick to label them a quack. Contrary to what you might see in movies or TV shows, psychic abilities among spiritually gifted people aren't about pulling rabbits out of hats or reading your palm for $10. It's often a more subtle, internal experience, like having a strong knowing about a situation or person without logical explanation. Whether or not you believe in it, for those who experience these psychic phenomena, it's as real as any other perception. 13. Channeling energy. All right, fasten your seatbelts because we're about to go full Avatar, the last airbender on this one. Channeling energy is not just about laying hands and healing the sick. Oh no, my friends. Spiritually gifted people can also channel energy to influence the atmosphere around them, both metaphorically and literally. We're talking moods, events, and yes, even the weather. Okay, now before anyone tries to summon a rainstorm or banish a bad mood, let's take a second to talk responsibility. Channeling energy is not a toy. It's an immense power that requires proper understanding and control. Think of it as handling a high-performance sports car. You wouldn't want to floor the gas pedal without knowing how to steer, would you? The same goes for channeling energy. Misuse can lead to unintended consequences. So, how does this work in everyday life? Imagine you walk into a room where everyone's energy is low. As someone capable of channeling energy, you could shift the entire mood of the room, uplifting everyone in it. Or perhaps you find yourself in a tense situation. Your ability to channel calming energy could defuse the tension almost magically. 14. High vibration frequency. Let's get metaphysical for a moment. In the spiritual world, the concept of vibrational frequency is a big deal. Think of it like tuning a radio. The clearer the signal, the better the reception. Spiritually gifted people are like radios finely tuned to a higher frequency, catching channels most of us don't even know exist. This makes them extraordinarily attuned to the subtleties of the universe around them. So, what does it mean to operate at a higher frequency? Well, these individuals often experience life more intensely, feeling emotions more deeply, and sensing energies more acutely. Their heightened senses allow them to pick up on things that might fly under the radar for the average Joe or Jane. For instance, they might feel an instant connection with someone who also vibrates at a similar frequency, or feel uneasy in a place with low energy. The upside, and sometimes downside, of this high-frequency life is the ripple effect it has on those around them. You'll often find that these high-vibe individuals are catalysts for change, pushing others towards self-discovery, improvement, or even just a broader worldview. Whether it's by inspiring a friend to chase a dream or sensitizing a whole community to environmental issues, their high vibrational frequency acts like a beacon, drawing people toward enlightenment and positive change. 15. Sense of purpose. You know how some people seem to wander through life aimlessly, questioning what it's all about? Well, that's rarely the case for those with spiritual gifts. They possess an unshakable sense of purpose that guides them like a North Star. It's not about ego or personal gain for them. It's about serving something greater, something beyond the mundane and the materialistic. Now, don't get it twisted. Having a purpose doesn't mean you have your entire life figured out. But it does mean that spiritually gifted people are propelled by a vision or mission that gives their life extraordinary meaning. Whether that's to heal, guide, or simply spread love and understanding, their actions are infused with intentionality. For them, life isn't just a series of random events, but a canvas to paint their larger-than-life purpose on. Just like their high vibrational frequency can influence those around them, so can their sense of purpose. When you meet someone who's living their life in alignment with a deeper calling, it's utterly contagious. It can inspire you to search within and find your own purpose, acting as a catalyst for your personal growth. So there you have it, 15 fascinating traits that could signify you or someone you know has a spiritual gift. What do you think? Can you relate to any of these traits? We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences, so don't hesitate to leave a comment below. And if you found this video enlightening, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more intriguing content. Until next time, keep exploring the depths of your spirituality.